EA Sports. It's in the game.
Today's coverage brought to you by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Hello again and welcome. Rich Lerner alongside my friend and colleague Frank Novelo. Frank, we've arrived at one of the more unusual golf courses in the United States. We're in the state of Washington, Chambers Bay. What's it all about?
Well, apart from the scenery, Rich, which is magnificent, this is a walking golf course, so it's a chance to get out there, strut your stuff, and see if you got a game to match.
It's a links golf course. We think of links in Scotland. Here we're in the northwest part of the United States, though.
Yeah, but Scotland's, well, it's transferred a little piece of land all the way across the Atlantic.
Down to the first tee now to get the round going, and a stout par 4, Frank.
Yeah, straight out of the gates. The wind, obviously, very important here. If you were to play it into a head breeze, this would be just a mammoth hole, just under 500 yards. Fortunately, with a little prevailing breeze, though, it'll shorten up considerably, but we'll bring that bunker on the right in play.
Frank, did you hear the sound of that coming off the club face?
It was like a cannon.
Good tee shot, good lie, and now a good chance to take advantage here on this hole. Let's see what McIlroy does now with his second. Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. That is a green in regulation as the approach shot hits the first green, but he is by no means in for par yet. A lengthy putt coming up. So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right.
Really? This is an awkward length.
Well, that's just a poor putt, Frank, and now let's hope he doesn't make a Michael Bublé.
He's hardly going to be singing after that one.
Locked in on the read and the speed. Not quite enough on that one, couple of feet short.
Yeah, hopefully he taps it in. Not his best, but hopefully it's just 2 putts.
Not very happy with that one. And this will be a 5-foot putt here. Hate to say it, but that is a quadruple bogey, double the par, and time to pick up and move on. Ready to tee off here at the second. Frank, what's it all about?
Well, you hit your tee shot here through the dunes, Rich, not overly long, just under 400 yards. The bunker on the left really shouldn't be a problem. Just avoid the dunes on the right and left.
Well, that ball nestled down just a bit in that heavy rough. Shot now from the rough. Frank, what's he facing?
Well, the lie first and foremost. If it's sitting down, then obviously you're not going to get a very good contact. Nothing wrong with coming up a little bit short of the green. Problem is turning one mistake into another.
So missed the fairway, and now he's back where he needs to be.
Yeah, minimize the problems.
Frank couldn't ask for anything more.
Just the lie there, too. It is sitting up like it's teed up.
Wow, not what we expected. 5 over in the early going. At the third tee now, Frank, and what are we staring at here?
This green is anything other than cement. Corners, more like ragtails, but beautiful par 3. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. How about that shot right there from that lie in the rough to knock it that close? That's good. Well, that's disappointing. That's a drop shot at number 3. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. So that's a drop shot. Frank, here on the 4th tee, you get a good look, don't you, at what Chambers Bay really is all about.
It's framed beautifully, Rich, by the bunkers there, left, short, off the tee, plus the ones down the right side. You can see everything in front of you, but the hole does bend to the right. This is another one where you've got a generous fairway, but don't be fooled by that. It's fairway first.
Tough par 4 measuring 495 yards. Outstanding tee shot.
Yeah, ball sitting up. You don't have to worry about the wind or anything there. You just take a full-blooded cut at the second shot from here.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast, though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
Shouldn't be a problem here.
A lip out's fine, as long as it doesn't happen to you.
Clean this up with a tap. This golf course has been demanding today, and the scores reflect that. 7 over par. Well, Frank, here at the 5th, and I'm not sure about my chances at a hole that's called free fall. I mean, are you kidding?
Well, should be free fall for you, that's for sure, and free fall for a lot of people playing it today. The hole looks straight away, but you'll see it starts to pinch in, that fairway that is, by bunkers left and right. And those bunkers come in exactly where you're trying to hit your tee shot. Rich, that tee shot there has shortened up this hole considerably. It's made a tough par 4 into, well, we'll see, but it looks like a very birdieable hole now.
You hit it right where you want. Now he has a good chance to attack that hole location. Fraction off the center and headed to the right. That is an excellent play right there. The approach giving him another good look. 11 feet away. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Good work right there. He'll settle for par. Ready to tee off here at the 6th. Frank, where are you looking to land the ball off the tee here?
Well, as long as it's not in the rough, the bunkers, well, there's no trees here, really. That little green strip, that runway. The fairway's wide enough. You've got a pretty good idea exactly where you want to go. And once again, this is one of the shorter par 4s. So good drive here, just a short iron in.
Frank, what do you think about this approach here at the 6th?
Well, one of the few greens here that's protected on both sides. Rather narrow green, and you can see really what happens if you miss. Bunkers left and right. Plus there's a couple of ridges, so club selection is important here.
Just a little offline, so now, Frank, he's going to have to deal with a rough.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how strong he is.
Putting all of his talents on display here from the rough, and he knocks it really close. Beautiful shot. He's made it. On the 7th tee now, it is over 500 yards from the back tee.
Yeah, this is called humpback, and you can see why. There's all those mounds and undulations between you and the hole, plus all that amazing bunkering down the right side. All to be avoided, really. If you can do that, then you get a decent look at this green. But yeah, you've mentioned it, 500 plus yards. It's going to play longer than that uphill.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball. And this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. Settles in over the putt. Frank, you hear it so often. This is a game of dealing with your miscues.
That's the beauty of this game of golf. It giveth and it taketh away.
Yeah, that really hurts, Frank. Missing the bogey putt.
Yeah, now time to get the handkerchief. Double bogey coming up. Now it's that sneaky distance. You want to know the difference between good scores and average scores? That.
Right there. These putts keep the round together. Well, once you hit double to par, it's time to just pick up and move on. Now to the 8th and a long par 5, Frank.
Fortunately, there's no bunkers, just the dunes either side. The hole looks a little narrow off the tee, but get down there, you're going to realise that's a fairly generous fairway. There's a little bit of mounding in this green, too, that actually slopes it back towards the player. So use that to your advantage.
Good contact, good result. Not an especially great round heading to the finishing stretch here, Frank.
Well, that's sometimes where you do have a cursory look at the scorecard, Rich. If there's a couple of par 5s ahead, knuckle down. Really got to play the easier holes well, especially in these conditions.
Paying attention like a little kid at school, Frank. That baby's sitting up.
Sitting up? It's got the best view as well. You don't even need binoculars from where that ball is.
It should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Needs a pair of binoculars to see the hole. Speed wasn't bad on that long putt, but the read wasn't very good. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy. Close. Couldn't ask for much more on that putt. 18-footer. Not his best stuff right there. Well, you almost lose count at this point. Safe to say, not under par. In fact, well over par. Rounding out the front side here at
100 feet above the level of the green, so you can see everything. This is one of the best views on the golf course. A fairly lengthy par 3. Obviously it's stout, just over 200 yards, but you can see the green off that elevated tee, and this requires your best shot.
Every once in a while you're reminded this is a pretty hard game.
That was evidence. Just too much juicy grass between the ball and the club face. It's always going to come up short out of that sort of light.
All right, so green side bunker. What's he looking to do with this shot, Frank?
Well, really, you have to look at the amount of green you got to play with. You don't have to try and fly the ball right by the flag. Allow it to run. Plus, if you can get it to run like a putt, you never know. It might just go in.
I thought that was in.
Yeah, it looked good. I mean, line, pace. It's hard to be critical of that.
Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Well, those will knock the wind out of your sails. Double bogey. He struggled on the front, but a chance to regroup here on the inward half, Frank.
Well, if you look at a round of golf and you made a couple of double bogeys on the first, or you made a couple of double bogeys on the end, it would still add up. Now, let's hope that the back 9 is all gravy.
In the fairway here at the 10th, nice way to start off the back 9.
Well, it's going to take a good one here, considering what they've already gone through, Rich. Right now, that green is going to look very small, so it's going to take a good shot here to give himself an opportunity.
Some really poor play to this point. Early part of this back 9 and a good approach shot. Now we'll have this for birdie.
Now, just when you thought they might pick up one, now settle for a par.
Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Now on to the 11th, and Frank, we are looking at a long par 4 in front of us.
We are indeed, and it's called shadows, but there is love in the shadows here. Hit it over that June plus yard mark, then the hole obviously starts to get a little easier. That second shot, you'd like to hit a little bit of a cut in here, but there's two levels to this green, so make sure you're on the right level where that flag is. There's always advantage of hitting it further than most, Rich, and straighter than most. When you put the two together, it's just straight up a head start.
This could be a good one. Wouldn't say he's ecstatic, but not unhappy either.
So 24 feet. There'll be a lot of players much further away than that on this hole.
That's a head scratcher. No other way to put it. That close to the green and misses it badly to the right. So they'll tap in. Everything has gone wrong today. Just continues to be ugly. Measuring 311 yards, the 12th Frank seems to offer an opportunity.
The narrows, really it should be called the temptation, because what player stands on a tee knowing he can reach and doesn't take up the gauntlet? What a great shot.
I mean, that is a sight to behold. What a spectacular shot we just saw on the par 4 with a drive in one. Just a little tap in here. Routine stuff for Rory, that's a par. 13th hole now, it's a dogleg right, par 4.
It's that bunker that's just short in the middle of the green. You know, this is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. So that sets up a tougher second shot, missing the fairway with the drive, now in the rough. Frank, this ball's in the rough. Do you like to hinge just a little bit quicker on the takeaway when the ball is down like this?
No, when it's down, you've just got to make sure that you wind up almost like you're hitting a tee shot. This is not one to be dallied with. You've got to hit it powerfully, and you really have to focus on that club getting through the grass, past the ball, and out the other side. Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Oh, just a superb shot.
You're not going to see much better than that all day today.
Getting set now over the putt. That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
Just a couple of feet. Then a rocky round. Frank, now to the 14th hole, and this is the 5th consecutive par 4 here at Chambers Bay, and by this point the players will know whether they're on their game or off their game.
At 546 yards, this hole can be shortened considerably if you choose to take a brave line down the left side. You can chew off as much as 70 or 80 yards. But once again here, because the hole bends to the left, you've really got to know which direction that wind is coming from.
Now from a good position in the fairway, his second shot. Oh, looked like he caught a flyer right there, Frank.
Well, I don't know what he caught, but this is way too much. It was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back?
So, third shot now for Rory McIlroy.
Oh, that was solid, Rich. This one's safely on. It's at sneaky distance.
Dropping a shot here late in the round, Frank, with that bogey at the 14th. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Well, you're not going to make that putt all the time, but you'd like to at least get it to the hole.
If he keeps putting like that, he's going to be an announcer in no time.
Man.
I just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Time to pick up and move on. At last, Frank, a break from those long par 4s. We just played 5 par 4s in a row. Now the par 3 15th.
And also, as you can see in the distance, you can actually see a tree. It's one of the few that are on the golf course. Hence the name of 15. It's called Lone Fir. Not overly long, just a little short hole. But in a US Open, obviously they can play it at around 250 yards. It's just a fun par 3. But check where that flag is, because sometimes 3 is a good score here. But an easy flag position, and then go straight at it.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Pretty good putt, Frank. Just didn't quite read it correctly.
Yeah, would have certainly liked that to go in.
He has a 12-footer here.
That was cruel. That looked like it was certainly going in.
That's about as depressing a moment as there is in golf. When you miss the bogey putt, you know you're staring at double. Trying to put this hole behind him quickly. Double bogey putt. Well, you almost lose count at this point. Safe to say, not under... That appeared to be a good strike right there, Frank.
Oh, good. It's just towering. Look at that, hanging in the sky.
Excellent drive right there, Frank.
Circa 310.
Frank, now a pretty short shot here into the 16th.
Yeah, green, anything other than flat. Very narrow, skinny green. It also slopes left to right. You can use that to your advantage.
See if you can get this one to drop here at the 16th for a birdie. Birdie chance here. Very long putt, though.
Got to be a little careful if it gets away on him.
Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Wow, don't know how a player of this caliber misses it to the left that badly from that short a range. Frank, we talk so often about striking the golf ball. This player is a superior ball striker, but there's another element involved, isn't there?
It's called distance control. It's not the number on the bottom of the club you're hitting. It's knowing how far it goes to avoid mistakes just like that.
That one is bunker bound, it looks like. And once again, off the tee and in the bunker. Frank, there's nothing like catching a bunker shot just perfectly. Splashes out, lands softly, and just runs up to that hole.
Yeah, it's like 3D. There's the component in the strike where it's going to land, and then the third part of it is how much will it roll.
And he makes it for par. Now to the 18th hole, Frank, everyone wants to finish in style.
Yeah, the home hole here, once again you head back to just a wonderful view, and you realize that Chambers Bay was designed as a walking golf course, and it was designed to have fun and test every department of your game. 18 will do that. It probably gives you more trouble on both sides of the hole than any other hole in the golf course.
Just busted him. 325 yards in the fairway. And from the fairway with his second shot here. And that one rolls just into the rough.
Now you have to decide whether or not that ball's going to fly or not.
And setting up here in the rough. Frank in a bit of trouble here at the par 5, missing the green on that third shot.
You're just battling to make par. And this is going to be difficult.
And it is in.
Amazing. Amazing.
Frank, not the best round we had.
I guess the most interesting thing is, can they turn it around?
EA Sports and the Web.com Tour proudly present opening round coverage of the Frank, now the second shot here at hole number 6.
Yeah, not overly long, but be very aware of these palm trees that are short. Many a shot's caught those trees coming into this green.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
Coming out of the rough and right up next to the hole. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Frank, that is nothing more than a punch to the gut.
Oh, it's cruel, Rich. Good putt and deserves so much more. Another shot added, though.
And takes the wind right out of your sails. So that's a bogey, and now to 1 over par for the tournament. Let's take you down to the 7th. Golfer has
Be a case of trying to find a few things to really rectify this situation.